Joe Pavelski officially calls it quits on a career. The Dallas Stars announce their new Hall of Fame inductees, and more hardware heading to Cedar Park. That and more coming up next on Locked On Stars.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. Happy Thursday, Stars fans. And yes, Joe Pavelski has finally called it quits on a career. We knew it was headed that direction, but it is now official. After 18 seasons in the National Hockey League, Joe Pavelski has finally officially retired, unfortunately without a Stanley Cup to his resume, but a wonderful career that we will put a bow on today's episode of Locked On Stars. We'll also talk about the new class of 2024 inductees into the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame, which includes Brendan Morrow on the player side and then Jim Lites on the builder side, plus some more hardware heading to Cedar Park. The Texas Stars continue to be a top-notch organization within the American Hockey League. We'll shine some light on them as well later on today's episode. Shout out to all you everydayers out there tuning into Locked On Stars every single day. Hit that notification bell. Never miss an episode. And shout out to all you wonderful listeners. It has been a blast so far this offseason, and this podcast has never done any better. The numbers we are hitting are fantastic, and that is because of you keeping me honest with fresh new content, talking to different guests every week or so, and just having a ton of fun, which is what this podcast is all about to you die-hard Stars fans. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to, but this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. So I wanted to shine some light on Joe Pavelski once again. Of course, this was sort of a obvious decision that was coming to an end here with Pavelski and his NHL career. It wasn't necessarily over, but it felt like after 18 seasons, it was certainly coming to an end. And unfortunately, one last ride with the Dallas Stars, it did not happen, but that doesn't change the fact that Joe Pavelski has had an incredible career stemming from a 7th round pick to playing over 1,000 games in the National Hockey League, one of the best all-time U.S.-born players in hockey history. He is no doubt going to find himself in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. I think he has a really good shot of making the Hall of Fame in general, even without a Stanley Cup. It's not just about what you do in the NHL. He has won a Clark Cup in the USHL. He has won a national championship with Wisconsin, and those also deserve lots of recognition, even though he didn't win Lord Stanley at one point in his career. But he played 1,332 games in the National Hockey League that spanned over 18 seasons in the NHL, 963 with San Jose, and then 369 with Dallas. And it's hard to believe he played 5 years here in Dallas. He came over at the age of 35. He had that really slow start to the 1920 season. If you remember, had 31 points in 67 games when COVID cut that season short. It took a while for him to find his legs, but in the playoffs, when the games started back up again, he was instrumental in that push to get to the Stanley Cup final in 2020. And if you look at his playoff numbers in general, those are just fantastic. 201 total games, 143 points, which included 74 goals. You look at 15-16 when San Jose made that cup run, 14 goals in those 24 games. He was fantastic. And you look at that 2020 cup run, 13 goals, 19 points in 27 games. He was incredible here in Dallas and somehow proved that time and age did not matter, even though at the end of this last season, you could see him starting to wear. But boy, he put up 67 points in 82 games. In his last 3 years here in Dallas, he played all 82 games. What an incredible achievement. And I know he is not a player that thrives in the corners and is throwing his weight around constantly, but at 37, 38, and 39 years of age to play all 82, to not even take a break. And we know about his offseason preparation and his on-ice preparation before games. First one out on the ice, he's deflecting pucks, working on redirections, taking out a slew of others to work on their game as well. And to just be consistently night in and night out available for the Dallas Stars. And you can knock him on some of his performances in the postseason, but you can't knock him for being a guy that was always available more often than not. And he had his fair share of injuries more often with San Jose in his 13 years. But what a career. He ends up finishing fifth in all-time points. I know Brett Hull played for USA, but was Canadian born and some weird stuff there, but on who he was affiliated with. But I guess officially he's listed as sixth with 1,068 points, which ranks sixth among US born skaters. He ended up cracking the top 5 amongst goal scorers as well. He was just behind Joe Mullen with 502. But what a wonderful career. Finished as a multi-time All-Star. Never quite won a Selke, but he came close quite a few times. And you cannot underestimate the impact he had here in Dallas. And just what a consummate professional and an incredible human being as well, who turns out to be quite the multi-sport athlete. He competed in the American Century Championship this past weekend, which is one of those celebrity golf tournaments, and you get players and athletes and celebrities, obviously, from all walks of life that go to Lake Tahoe, and Joe Pavelski finished second. And after probably a wonderful weekend at Lake Tahoe, which may have included some gambling and some drinks, I'm sure, and enjoying the outdoors, finishing second, he was probably like, man, it's nice that I can play golf every single day. A bit easier on the body, not having to stay prepared and always eat right. And was thinking, yeah, maybe this is a great time to officially call it quits. But man, he deserves nothing but love. I would love to hear your opinion. Do you think he makes the Hall of Fame? I think he still gets in even without winning a Stanley Cup. I know he gets a knock for not winning really any major trophies, but I think you have to factor in winning Clark Cup in the SHL with the Waterloo Blackhawks, and of course a national championship with the University of Wisconsin. Took a silver medal home from the Vancouver Olympics in 2010 as well. But I just want to throw out some numbers there just to show you where he really dominated at every level he was, which almost brings up the question, why was he a 7th round pick? Obviously, the biggest knock was his skating, and he was a bit small, which was really held against players during his era when he was drafted in the early 2000s. But his USHL totals, 109 games, 118 points. His NCAA totals, he played 2 years at the University of Wisconsin. 101 points in 84 games. He almost cracked 40 career goals. He also played in the KHL during the lockout. Some of you may not know that, but he played for the Dynamo Minsk, and he had 14 points in 17 games. So he went over to Russia and did pretty well. Just 16 games in the AHL, did not have a long stay with the Worcester Sharks, and he had 26 points in 16 games. This is a great resume to follow if you're a young player out there. Dominate the level you are at, and they will have no option other than to bring you up to the next level. And I think Joe is the absolute symbol for that. He dominated every single level. and he found a way to dominate for years in the National Hockey League. I mean, 18 seasons at that age, productive as he was over the final 3 seasons here in Dallas is truly remarkable and a shining achievement. I feel bad the Dallas Stars could not get him a Stanley Cup. They had a couple of cracks at it. They had more than a couple of cracks at it here in Dallas, but he left a lasting impact on a player like Wyatt Johnston. I'm sure Stankoven, Delandry even, who was given, I'm sure, an incredible referral from Joe heading over to San Jose. I'm sure he'll be in good hands as well, and just a fantastic leader here in Dallas. And you knew that locker room wanted to win for Joe, and unfortunately, they just fell short. It did not have the storybook ending, but I know we've kind of already put a bow on this to some degree because it seemed inevitable at this point. But good luck to Joe. He'll do great in whatever he chooses to do. I'm sure he'll play a lot of golf, hunt, and have some fun. Which I guess, hey, it's never officially official to some degree. He could always get the itch around January. Maybe if Dallas needs some help coming down the stretch, Jim will give him a call. Seems like he has the opportunity to join a front office if he wants to venture that route. Seems like he'd be a wonderful coach. He sort of was to some degree. I'm sure he helped out the coaching staff here in his 5 years. I think he could venture into that. Could be some front office work. We'll see, but I'm sure he'll want to spend some time with his family and loved ones and go from there. So good luck, Joe, with the rest of your career and whatever that may be. And a lot of love here from Locked On Stars and Stars fans everywhere who enjoyed your final few seasons here in Dallas. Let's segue into some others who've had wonderful careers, maybe not quite Hall of Fame careers. Brendan Morrow and Jim Lights, your class of 24 Dallas Stars Hall of Fame inductees. Find out more about that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. It's your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global visitors monthly, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. As a business owner, you don't have tons of time to take out of your day to find the right candidates. Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality candidates, the highest quality matches to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. So go ahead and join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to your jobs. More visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Hey, Stars fans, be sure to show some love to other Locked On Podcast Network shows such as Locked On Rangers, Locked On Cowboys, and Mavs, especially if you are a DFW sports fanatic. No better time to be a sports fan here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So show some love to those shows as well. Have the Mavs coming off a finals run. Just traded for Klay Thompson. Cowboys going to training camp here in the next week or so. Had the MLB All-Star game right down the road a couple of days, and it looks like the Rangers are starting to turn their season around. So be sure to follow those teams as well, because on Locked On, they're talking about the Mavs, Rangers, Cowboys, and Stars every single day. Speaking of the Dallas Stars, announced 2 new inductees to the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame class of 2024. Just a refresher, if you're not necessarily familiar with the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame, this is a awesome way, I think, for the Stars to show some love and credit to certain players or front office executives that wouldn't get necessarily rewarded with their jersey being retired in the rafters. And Brendan Morrow, I think, fits this category perfectly. Not necessarily a great enough career to get his name put up in the rafters, but definitely deserving of being in the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame for being a wonderful captain here in Dallas when he was selected in the first round by the Stars, 25th overall in 1997. But just a quick rundown for you about the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame. It recognizes players or staff members who have positively impacted the Dallas Stars Hockey Club in such a way that their contributions cannot be overlooked. The two categories, they include skater/goaltender, which is the player, and the builder, executive level staff or coach. A maximum of one player and one builder are eligible for selection in any election period, and there's no requirement that a maximum or either category is reached in any given selection period. Players must demonstrate exceptional attributes in the areas of playing ability, sportsmanship, character, and contributions to the Dallas Stars Hockey Club, where it says builders are evaluated on their demonstration of exceptional attributes in coaching, managerial, or executive ability, or ability in any other significant off-ice role, sportsmanship, character, or contributions to the Dallas Stars Hockey Club. So there is a quick refresher for you. And there is a collection or selection committee, and they have decided to induct Brendan Morrow in Gem Lights. Of course, Brendan Morrow on the player side was a wonderful captain here in Dallas. His career spanned 15 seasons. 13 of those came here in Dallas. He was a rookie in 99-2000, put up 33 points and 64 games. And man, he played a rough and tough style of hockey, and it completely fit into the tone here in Dallas. He was a wonderful captain for the Stars for a long time, and put up some really, really nice numbers. He dealt with some injuries towards the end of his career, but he was another one of those players you could just count on. He was going to be available and he could produce. He kind of lived in that 50 to 70 points a year sort of mark, and he would fight. He would take a lot of penalty minutes. He ended up cashing in 183, which is a career high in a season in 05-06, but he also chipped in 65 points, had a couple of 30-goal seasons, one in 07-08. He had 32, and then he followed up with 33, which was a career high in 2010-2011. He played in all 82 games in 2010-2011. He ranks fourth in penalty minutes with 1,203 and game-winning goals with 43, fifth in plus minus at plus 102, and shares seventh in power play goals at 79, ninth in shorthanded tallies. He had 8. He appeared in 78 postseason games for the franchise, amassing 42 points, 17 goals, and 25 assists in 100 penalty minutes. Among all-time franchise leaders in the playoffs, he has 3 overtime goals, which is tied with Steve Payne and Joe Nieuwendyk for first. So he had some pretty impactful goals throughout his career here in Dallas, and I think it's wonderful news that he will be making his way to the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame. Please share your favorite Brendan Morrow moment. Of course, what rings true to me, and I think many people, since I was in the building when I was a young boy in 2008, was that OT winner, double overtime winner against San Jose to send the Dallas Stars to the Western Conference Final. That game was incredible. That building was electric, and Morrow was certainly a fan favorite, and just, I think, embodied everything that Stars fans sort of wanted out of their team. He was gritty. He had some finesse to his game, but man, he was king of that reverse hit. And every time you see someone pull that reverse hit, whether it's Miro or Ben, you think back to Morrow. you think back to him and how many times he did that, and caught up in all of that. You forget he was a really, really, really good two-way forward. finish outside the top 10 in Selkie a couple of times at 13th. Wasn't going to get a ton of love, but with outputting up gaudy offensive numbers, but had a very, very nice career for himself, not only in Dallas, but even the last few seasons of his career when he called it quits after the 2015 season. Jim Lights on the Builder side. During his tenure with Dallas, the team has won 9 division championships, 3 Western Conference championships, 2 President's Trophies in the 1999 Stanley Cup, played an active role in the conception, design, construction, and ongoing business operations of American Airlines Center and Children's Health Star Center Ice facilities, played a significant role in hiring general manager Jim Mill, purchasing the Texas Stars even of the American Hockey League, and operating lease of HEB Center at Cedar Park in Cedar Park, Texas. Jim Lights has a ton to do, not only with the Dallas Stars, but I think just the growth of hockey in the DFW Metroplex. I know growing up playing hockey in DFW, his name just came up a lot with him taking over some of the operations and almost supervising to some degree the star centers here within DFW. And I don't even know how many we have anymore. I think it was probably 6 or 7 to 8 when I was playing in my heyday. And man, it's probably close to 20 now with all the different facilities. And now they're building the multi-purpose facilities as well, which doesn't just include hockey. We're talking volleyball courts and basketball, you name it. I'm sure indoor soccer, right? They're really, really expanding, and he has a ton to do with that as well. Just the growth of hockey in DFW. So very deserving of him being inducted into the Dallas Stars Hall of Fame. So some great news. It was just established in 2022, so it is sort of a new thing. But I think it's great to honor players and executives that have made very, very important contributions to the Dallas Stars that wouldn't necessarily find themselves in a U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame or just the Hockey Hall of Fame or get their jersey retired. It's a great way to show some love to them. So, and Brendan Morrow and Jim Lights are very certainly deserving of that. So congratulations to those two. Let's discuss a bit more about Cedar Park. And some more hardware coming their way. Had a fantastic season. Obviously, fantastic players such as Maverick Bork and Logan Stankoven. But they got some more hardware in terms of their atmosphere. I'll tell you a bit more in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers, that's right, all customers, with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, something for everyone every day all summer long. Baseball is in full swing. Don't miss out on the action this summer. Make some money watching the Texas Rangers. You have the British Open, which begins today. Plenty of stuff going on in the world of sports, and hockey is right around the corner. I promise you, Stars fans. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer and get prepared for the fall. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. So the Texas Stars continue to establish themselves as a top-notch organization within the American Hockey League, and they have a few more awards to add to their trophy case. We, of course, have made a lot out of Logan Stankoven, the AHL Rookie of the Year, and Maverick Bork, the AHL MVP of the year. Both of them will be on the Dallas Stars come opening night, which will be an absolute blast. But let's show some love to the organization in general. The AHL just announced a couple of days ago that the Texas Stars have received the 23-24 Western Conference Fan Experience Excellence Award, in addition to the 23-24 Marketing Department of the Year. So congratulations to the staff down in Cedar Park for taking home both of those awards within the AHL. And I'm sure that marketing department works extremely, extremely hard. Texas, of course, has shown itself as a wonderful hockey state, but it is obviously going to play second fiddle to a lot of other sports. And I'm sure that marketing department works their bag off. And obviously, their hard work pays off because you see the crowds down in Cedar Park and the wonderful fan base the Texas Stars have as well. It is no surprise they have been awarded these 2 awards. So this is obviously a huge, huge credit to the fan base of the Texas Stars for showing some love, and the organization in general that is making it enticing enough. And it also helps that the Texas Stars have been good. They have been really, really good here for a fantastic stretch. And when you have a good hockey team, man, people don't care. If you have a good team anywhere in any sport, people want to be about it. They want to be engaged with it. And I think the Texas Stars are a perfect example of that. Not necessarily the quote unquote state of hockey, but man, we do a pretty damn good job here in the state. And I think you have to acknowledge the investment that has been made here. And the World Junior Championships are coming back to Dallas as well. I think that pretty much sums it up, that Dallas is becoming sort of a destination for the biggest international tournament within amateur hockey wants to come to Dallas to play their games. So congratulations to the Texas Stars and the wonderful staff there down in Cedar Park for receiving those 2 awards. Well, that'll do it for today's episode of Locked On Stars. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, continue to be engaging. Drop your questions below. I like to get to those and interact with you guys. And as always, you have been fantastic. Thank you for tuning in every single day. Please share this podcast. Let your diehard Stars fans know we're talking about the Dallas Stars 24/7. There is no offseason here on Locked On Stars, and we're gearing up for October. It will be here before you know it. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.